TC, we coming to you in a minute, all right? We hear you. We see you. Wave if you can hear. All right. Zay and that question had me off, but I meant to get back to you, Zaybo.
You know we live and not it ain't the countdown, right?
Yeah.
Well, you
Well, you
you
murder
right
it every
because
week, Chris, so
We
I was
doing
just
the
about to say
countdown or
that
we not?
we
y'all going
counting
to
down.
y'all going to the Black Hat?
Damn right.
Oh, really?
We in the building.
Yeah, you
Okay.
sounded indecisive last week.
Yeah, okay. No, last year was interesting. I think I
Yeah,
went.
I'm
the
about
year
to
before that was interesting for me.
Oh, that's what it was. All
Chester
right.
Fonte.
Welcome to another episode of the Black Super Friends podcast. I am your host, the Horace Towns, known around the nation, internationally known. Hey, before we get into it, I want to let all my viewers around the world know that we have guests tonight, and you guys always request these guests that we have that'll be coming on screen. Our numbers are always good, and the clips are good, and the what you calling the reruns are good. Hello, Amber. Welcome to Monday night. You was here right at 9 o'clock. Whew, gotta appreciate that. All right, first, before I get into Negro news that you can definitely use, I'm gonna introduce the most amazing people in the world. You know them around the world as the Black Super Friends. All right, whether it's St. Martin, whether it's Nigeria, whether it's Canada, whether it's Mexico, you know us. We be there. All right, first I'm gonna go to the man that designed the Black Super Friends logo, and he made it easy for us to have apparel. He's one of the most controversial members of our show, and then sometimes he's the most sensitive and delicate part of our show. Tonight, you know him as Chris Leo.
thank you, Horace. It's always a pleasure, man. I look forward to hearing about your Sounds Mind concert. I want to give a post happy birthday to I said concert. I want to give a post happy birthday to Zay, and welcome to the show. We glad to have you.
All right, next I'm gonna go to the man who in 60 days we will go back to being Sunday enemies. He resides in Atlanta, Georgia, and he is one of the few people that I know is 100% authentic Dallas Cowboys fan. Tonight, he's going to be Harley Davidson, but you will call him Super Mario Sr.
Hey, thank y'all for coming. And y'all gonna thank us later after y'all see this show. Welcome back to another Monday.
All right. Next, we're going to the man who just felt the need to put the birthday man like we didn't know it was his birthday. Uh, Never a dull moment with Xavier. This weekend he'll be going to the Blackout, which I am waiting to see the apparel that he will fashion at this urban hit in South Florida. My brother, who probably turned 40 something this year,
I, hey, I
celebrated a birthday. You know him as an international man, but tonight he's the birthday man, Zay. Welcome
better
to the
know it.
show, Zay.
What's happening, y'all? I will be in the blackout with my chest out. You better know it. It'll be some fashion happening. I feel great. I'm coming off that great birthday high. It's like winning the championship. Anytime God gives you the ability to see another 365, you gotta celebrate that. You don't celebrate anything else, you better celebrate you. You don't know nothing else. Glad to
Right
see
on
y'all,
cue.
fellas. You better know it.
Right on cue, Zay. It is your most favorite fan, Mia Malcolm, giving you birthday wishes.
Hey, Mia, been missing. I'm glad you back.
Yeah,
All man.
I miss her hate mail too.
Mm,
Um, Listen.
yeah.
So next we're gonna have some guests come on. I really wanted to go into news, and a new episode I want to call "Protect Our Queens." Somebody thought it was people talk bad about Florida, but somebody in Texas, I assume, invited the girl at St. Pound Town to come to a high school. You know, I can't even say the words, but listen. Well, she did come to a school, so I'm pretty sure somebody's fired by now. But in her defense, she said she went there to give out money for haircuts and for girls to get them new wigs for back to school. So listen, it ain't all bad. The girl that's in Pound Town went into the schools, and I must say that we must protect our queens. But before I do that, let me introduce you to celebrities that come on our show time to time. I don't know where to start. Well, and they have a plus one tonight. So I'm gonna go first to the person that gets a lot of speed tickets because she has a Corvette and she drives with the top down, but that's another story. She resides in Dallas. Her name is Dr. Tamiko Manning. Can you hear us?
I can. Did you
Oh,
bring me in? Okay, there we go. I may be in and out because my computer, I'm having technical issues. Good evening, guys.
all righty.
What's happening?
We're gonna fit in here like kids on vacation in the minivan. All right. Next, I'm going to the person that is actually missing. So I'm gonna double back. I'm gonna go to one of my personal favorites just because I get to aggravate her at will. Her name is Dr. TC.
Turn your mic on.
You gotta turn your mic on.
Come on, Cancer.
Ooh,
Yeah, turn it
I
on.
always do that. Be so excited to see you guys. I forget to cut my mic on. How y'all doing?
All right.
Hey,
Thank you
Dr.
for joining
TC.
us. We were
Happy
talking about
belated too, man.
y'all video that y'all got out. You know, I like that. Real nice.
Yeah, Horace, we have to shout out all the July birthdays on this call because it's gonna be a little crowded in a minute. But go ahead, Horace.
You a Cancer?
You better know it.
To Dr. Tamika's birthday is in July. Dr. April's birthday is in July. Let's get this party started, baby. Y'all outnumbered today. Let's go.
Well, guess what?
Man,
It'll never work. So,
I got my girls with me. Hey, man, I like
all
this
right.
already.
Okay, I'm missing somebody. Okay, next I'm gonna go to my partner who gives us the affirmations and gives us all her feedback in the chat box, Dr. April Givens.
Hi guys, how y'all doing?
What's up, Dr. April?
Oh,
All right, it's gonna be crowded, like I said tonight, but you know, it is what it is.
So like the Brady Bunch.
It is. It look like Hollywood Squares. That's what it looked like. It look like Hollywood Squares. I tell you what, if y'all listen, we got a new guest, and she's a part of the Doctors of Dallas, and I hope that y'all prepped her for, you know, coming on the Black Super Friends Nation. Tonight we have Dr. Tiffany. You are a
Dr. Tiffany,
professional.
you are a
Let me
professional.
unmute your mic for you. Unmute your mic.
Well, hey y'all.
All right. There you go, Dr. Tiffany.
what's going on?
All right. Every quarterly, every so often, the doctors call us and say, hey, we're ready to give y'all some of our time. We want to talk about a few discussion points. And it always makes the show interesting. But I got some Negro news to cover first. One, I already talked about Pound Town at the school. All right. The other, the Houston woman, she's a Texas resident, that was arrested in Dubai for screaming at a rental car agent. She's still over there. Okay, prayers for her. And second of all, black people, when y'all go to these other countries, y'all need to know the law. Second of all, you in Dubai. It's lovely. It's amazing. They don't like women. Let's just be honest about it. So they do behead people over there. All right, and next, I'm just soliciting the prayer warriors that our sweet Carly Russell has returned home after, let's catch it though. She didn't say she was abducted. She just back home. So we don't know what happened. But the story was that this young lady was driving along I-459 somewhere, and she seen a toddler on the side of the road. She stopped her car. She was on the phone with family when all of a sudden the phone call, she screamed and the call interrupted. And this young lady went missing for about, what is it, for 2 days? And it became a hashtag, and everybody was so worried about this lady, Carly Russell. But, you know, thank God her abductors I'm assuming let her go. They seen all the coverage, or the prayer warriors work because she arrived back at home 2 days later after this traumatic event. So she didn't never say she was abducted. And once she comes to, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna get like some insight on what happened to her. And in fact, we need to pray for this baby. What happened to the baby that was on the side of the road? Nobody talking about this baby that was there. All they found was a wig and a phone when police arrived on the scene. So I didn't know what y'all thoughts was about that, Chris, but we got to protect our queens.
Man, look, uh, I've been got out of the believe all women conversation a long time ago. I'm getting real Jesse Smollett vibes on this one. And I hate to sound like this. I hate because if I'm lying, I really hope that things isn't what I think it is. But I think she had an issue with her, probably with her man, and sometimes they tell us that they're gonna kill themselves and they do dramatic things to make us come back or things like that. That's just my thought. What could have happened, but yeah, all the way around, I'm getting Jesse Smollett vibes. You called no one else seen that baby on that street, on that highway. Nobody.
It was
Not to
angry.
mention, you called 911 and you stayed on the phone with them for like a minute. Then you called somebody else, some of your people. The police, you can tell the police ain't saying nothing about it. Like they ain't coming out and reinforcing none of this stuff. And then you just pop up at the crib and you don't want to talk to nobody because of your mental health. Nah, baby. You gotta tell us what's up, man. You gotta tell us what the hell going on. So, I hate this. If I'm insensitive, I just have to be that this time. But nah, Jesse Smollett.
Well, because I'm the asshole of the show, I want to say she was talking to her man. He's a truck driver. He was like, I can't pull this truck off the road, but I'm gonna park it behind the other side of the highway. And she pulled up, and they were gonna get it in on the side of the road. But then she seen the police come up. Then he snatched her, and then ran off. And that's how she probably ended up at the hotel or whatever. So call me an a-hole, but all I cared about was the baby. That's all I cared about, the baby. So the prayer warriors got that baby to safety. Mario, I don't know. I just want to get y'all thoughts on it before we go, because she's safe. God got her. No comments, ladies? Okay.
I have a comment. Well, but I'm not gonna speak on it until she come out and really tell her side of the story. I think we owe her that to be able to tell. But I've been following it on Twitter, and it's a lot of different rumors on Twitter. Twitter is boots on the ground. It's people that know you, such and such cousin, such and such friend. So I've been listening to some of the Twitter chatter, and someone did say that, she told her best friend that she was at this hotel and that some people saw her out in public the day before. That's why she went on and went home. Now, that's what Twitter says, so don't come from me. So I don't know. I'm just giving her the benefit of the doubt and wait on her to tell her own story.
Twitter is a good news source. I'm just going to tell y'all can say what you want. That search bar on Twitter is amazing, but I thought y'all probably had heard about it, TC and Dr. Tiffany, so that's just why we wanted to share it. We do believe in protecting our queens on this thing. All right, Dr. Manning.
Yeah, I heard about it. I thought it was weird. The whole story. I was like, who just has a baby Tyler walking on the side of the road? Like, to me, that was the first red flag for me.
Okay.
I agree. I'm just waiting to get more of the full story because it's too many missing loopholes for me.
Okay. Well, listen, I had somebody say people need to stop. They talking about this. All we need to worry about is that she back home safe. So you can't really speak on stuff like that, But Super Mario, any insight before we go? I'm the
I think y'all already covered it. It's on. I can't wait to see, like y'all said, all the news reports that come out. You know what I'm saying? I just want to know from the women, how do Jesse Smollett, as Chris articulately brought up, really stained and hurt us black men. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's from a different group of black men, he still hurt us because now we just lying Negroes. And he really put us down. So how do y'all women feel if she comes out to be a lying heifer? Please.
Mhm.
Oh
Yep.
God.
I think
I
it'll
mean, go ahead, Dr. Tiffany.
I think it'll just put us in a light of can we be trusted, especially since there's so many stories and headlines about women falsely accusing men for other things. I just wonder how this will follow suit in that narrative as well.
Dr. TC.
That sound like
I,
empathy.
yes,
That sound like empathy. I'll give me a second.
I think for me, it's just I agree with Dr. Tiffany, but I also think it's just almost just it represents us in a negative way of being selfish and having some type of outer agenda or motive that we want to do, and we use the spotlight. We made a situation that didn't exist to be in the spotlight, and for what, and now that gives us not only the negative impact from us, I'm sorry, my words are tied up, the negative impact toward our black males, but also just for society in general. I mean, it's hard enough to be a black woman in America. So now we got a black woman who made up a whole story about a baby on some other stuff. So now that's something else we got to fight off our back. Like, it's just too much.
But I just feel like let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's say, as a mental health therapist, mental health is real. So let's say she could have, if it is come out to say that she was lying, let's say she could have had a psychotic break and she did see a baby for all we know, or she saw a sighting. Some people say it could be alien or whatever the case may be. So let's wait to see what was her state of mind before, because I also saw she was at some type of event before this happened and people in the community was speaking so highly of her. She's a nursing student. They talked about how smart she was and how she appeared to be very professional. So I don't see this woman, if they describing her like this, being someone to just make this up,
Yeah.
if that's the case. So
Jesse,
we
like
don't
Jesse
know.
Smollett.
Yeah, just a small lady.
Listen, that's a good point because I
Yes.
know a dude in Atlanta who saw spaceships over Bankhead.
Wonderful poet he was.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I couldn't let that one go. So, hey, it's going to get interesting. I think the serious side of it is there are too many black women that go missing. And that's a whole other story. Too many black women go missing. So that's what makes me angry about it. I really am skeptical about it, but there are too many black women that go missing. And we know some from our area locally that went missing and were never found. And that's a hard pill to swallow. So, we got to take that serious and hopefully we get something positive from this story. But the ladies, while Dr. Manning is out, Dr. Givens came with some topics tonight, and one of them, because she wanted to talk about how to navigate when you don't want to leave a relationship. Is that correct? Correct, Dr. Givens?
Yes, absolutely. So my take on that is a lot of people talk about, and it's all in the narrative and all on social media. And we professionals, mental health professionals, do these videos and talk about how to leave these toxic relationships and you shouldn't settle and all these different things. But you do have a large group of women who are seeking advice on what if they don't want to leave? What if they want to stay? How do they navigate that? Because you do have a lot of women that do stay in these relationships and they know their partners are cheating, but they forgive them, or however, they still want to figure out how to navigate it when I just love this person and I'm not willing to let that ruin my relationship.
We
So I
got
wanted to get some feedback from the fellas.
Well, I'm gonna be above her all night. One, I just think a lot of people don't identify that they're a red flag as well. And a lot of times people are in relationships and they have a physical attachment that they don't want to recognize. So to be simple, the meat attachment got her staying there when she know ain't nothing else there. So that's realistic, but it don't sound all termish, but a lot of times people be together for physical reasons.
Mhm.
Sometimes manipulative. You'll have people that be with somebody knowing this ain't who they really want, but he's okay. So I'm with this person, but I'm still kind of looking for somebody else. But that might have been off topic. So we got the date doctor on here. He's a specialist. He'll tell us.
Not in relationships, just dating. I didn't know if this was a gender specific question. I thought it was for men and women. I personally don't think men and women are the same. I don't think they're equal. I think they're totally different. I don't think their beliefs, uh, uh, their thoughts, their feelings, their whatever motives in relationships are asymmetrical. I think they're totally different. So if it was a dude, I would say no. There's no reason to keep a woman that don't want to be with you. There's just no value in that. Look at it. Look at it like a employee. Employer. Some when a person give you their notice to leave, a lot of jobs fire you right there on the spot because they know you're not mentally, physically, or emotionally invested in their company in this position, so they'd rather let you go. And then even if they kept you, your quality of work would be piss poor. So why keep you around? Now, for a woman, it's hard for me to believe this because, especially a modern woman, every woman, modern woman I know now have high standards. And I know if you have high standards and will not break them for nothing and will not lower them for nothing, then I know he had to meet those standards because you're in a relationship with him. So he met the physical standards because it's your preference. You got to have your physical. I know he met the financial requirements because you're not going to date no broke dude. And I guess if you're in a relationship, he's paying whatever amount that you deem worthy. He had to been healed because you know how to determine whether someone is healed or not. He had to meet he had to meet the leadership qualities because if you're in a relationship, I know you submitted to him because you do that naturally when you submit. So I do not know. I mean, when when he can lead properly. So I know if you're in a relationship with him, he had to be able to lead properly because you're not going to lower your standards for anything because you deserve everything. So I don't see how a woman could be in this position at all. It blows my mind how you can want to leave a man that fit all these standards, your physical, your emotional, he's a church going man, he's a God fearing man, he got everything going on, but you want to leave him? That doesn't make sense to me.
But he fits all of that, Chris, but he's a cheater.
Oh,
So
he's a cheater? How Dr. Abe, let's just I'm gonna keep it real with you now. At some point we have to at a certain age we have to redefine cheating. This is just what I believe, and it's gonna sound controversial, but we need to redefine cheating. I believe that cheating, I believe that having sex with another person should not end a relationship. I believe that dishonesty, disloyalty, and disrespect should. I don't think that a man should be disrespecting this woman out in public. I don't believe that he should be disloyal to her. I don't think he should be dishonest to her. But just having sex with another person cannot end. We got 25 to 30 more summers here. That shouldn't be a reason to leave me. Especially if I got all the other stuff going on. Let's sit down. Let's iron out a contract that we can work out. Well, we could have this life
Best of
together
both
for the
worlds.
rest of our life. But we sound real childish. You going home saying you left me and I'm such a good man because I skinny dipped.
wow. But you know what? You're right
I have a
though.
question.
That's why I posed the question. Because a lot of women, not a lot, some women feel just like you that they're not gonna leave their man just because he stepped out and cheated with another woman.
Well, then that's the thing. Then you gotta let that. You gotta come to an agreement. I don't think a man should be lying about what he's doing. I don't think he should be dishonest, and I don't think he should take away from his crib. I think that's a decision that him and his lady should be been made up. But if you're not going to leave me, you cannot use this as leverage later on. Every time we get in a relationship, you have to let this go. We got to work out whatever we got to work out, and let's move forward from this. That's all I'm saying. Because what happens is you didn't let it go, and now you hold it over my head every time we get into a disagreement, and it's back to I'm a cheater. Well, I thought we got past that.
Dr. TC, everybody keeps saying your face. What was the reaction that I missed?
She's a cancer.
We tries to, man, Zay, Dr. April, what I'm saying, we there. I think I just kind of honed in on the whole the red flags things because I think if we're being realistic in a relationship, like for me, cheating is a non-negotiable, right? Like if you cheat on me, then that's it. There's a lot of stuff I can deal with, a whole lot of stuff I can deal with. But cheating and putting your hands on me, those are two that I'm not negotiating, right? But I still think that even in the cheating piece, there's still red flags that we miss. There are things, because my thing is, I get it. Men feel like that they could just go out sometimes and sleep with somebody, and because they're not, because it was just having sex, they're not mentally attached to that person. It was just something to do, a physical thing that is no harm. But you got to remember, women are emotional creatures. And so it's always harm when you step out and sleep with somebody else. I don't care if it was a one night stand. I don't care if you know a name, you never saw it. There's always harm in that. And so I think about red flags because I want to think about the flags that led to the fact before they even started cheating. What was the signs leading up to that he might cheat? What was going on in the home? What led to that? Sometimes there's stuff going on home and sometimes it's not. But what were those red flags, and are we good observers of red flags? Because sometimes we see pink flags, green, purple, yellow, orange, and we be like, but I think I can, I can change it, or I think he can do this, or if I just show him how much I really love him, or how much I'm willing to give and work to this, he'll stop cheating. And but in a man's eyes, all I want to know is that you're gonna take him back once, and once you take him back once for cheating, it's on and popping. Like sitting back watching a movie. Let's see how many times we're gonna do this thing. And so that's just my opinion. Though. I don't speak for everybody else. It's my opinion.
I agree with the zero tolerance of cheating. I have a zero tolerance of cheating, but that takes nuts. You can't just say you have a zero tolerance of cheating, get mad, argue for a long time, and then take them back. Have a zero tolerance. It hurts taking somebody out of your life. It takes a lot of emotional investment out of your life. So don't talk that big boy talk unless you're gonna do it. If you're gonna have a zero tolerance policy for cheating, keep it and enforce it. But if not, you just rapping, you just running your mouth, and you need to shut up because we can move past this and have a really, really great relationship. But you just want to keep holding on to this.
Dr. Tiffany, you're quiet and you don't look like the quiet type.
Well, I was a little bit confused because Chris said, don't disrespect outside or, in private or setting. But then in the same vein, he was like, if you cheat, let's redefine but that's disrespecting in a public and private setting because you didn't stepped out. So how are we trying to redefine it to say that it's okay?
Well, I believe that I honestly believe that.
Oh. Man, they taking over for me tonight, boy. Listen.
We didn't kick them out. Lord have mercy.
It's Chris in Texas.
Back. I believe that it's not the cheating, it's the dishonesty. I believe what you had to do to cover up the cheating, the lies that you had to tell about it. I believe that that's what breaks people. That's what people dislike. I don't think it's the act of cheating. I've seen people survive cheating way too many times. I think it's the dishonesty. What I'm saying is you don't disrespect somebody that you're open and honest with. If you guys have worked out something, then you guys and have talked about it. The relationship is between y'all, not the rest of the world. The relationship is between y'all. Y'all work out something and y'all move forward. I don't agree with tipping out on your woman. I don't agree with lying and telling her you at your homeboy house and you're not. I agree with being honest and open with her. But if I just don't believe that a woman should be leaving me or a good man for that. Especially at this age. We've got 20-something summers left. We 40-something.
I'm not in my 40s, so I got a long time to go, baby. Do
it. Summers left, right? Speak for yourself.
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna get all of it go to you, baby. So you gonna be living it up them last 5 years of your life.
Mario and Zay.
Go ahead, Zay.
You going? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was waiting until we got on, Dr. April, because I was going to ask you. I actually compartmentalized the way that the questions came. So the first part was, how do you navigate a relationship that you want to be in? And I have to agree with Chris. You got to have a conversation about what that relationship looks like for you. But also, too, you got to put in the work for what you want. A lot of people always say what they want, but they don't ever want to work for it. And then they say that it went to shit or went to hell in a handbasket. You feel me? But you never really work for it. So how could you get the reward? I always say the reward, only place that reward comes before work is in the dictionary. And, that's what happened. If you want something, you'll truly work for it. Now, the second part, where you were saying about the advice for the people who want to stay. See, I didn't know that it was a full one question thing about the cheating and everything. And I still have to agree with Chris. They're going to have a conversation because if you cheated, you know what I'm saying, you're going to have to own up to it or actually address it. or that's not going nowhere because y'all gonna constantly keep having the same bickering going on. Then you gotta understand what a relationship looks like for you guys. And if that's something that you want to stay there because they do, then you gotta have some type of understanding. Whereas I don't know if she go gets the women for you, or if you, or when you get in with a woman, you letting her know. I don't know, but if that's whatever floats y'all boat, what Chris said, if that's what worked for their relationship, that's how they gonna make it work together. It's their relationship. It's two people in a relationship, unless they start adding other parties. But if it's not dishonest the way that they adding the parties, that's their relationship, and however they stay in it, that's gonna be on them. I'm gonna go to sleep great at night.
Mario,
I
bring us
remember,
home.
I remember when I was 10, I said, man, I never drive a raggedy car until I got older in high school, and all I wanted was a car. It didn't matter what kind of car I got, I just wanted a car. And then all that stuff about what I wasn't gonna do, what I thought for sure I wasn't gonna do, it wasn't fun to ride that bus. So then I'm gonna go back to hitch off what Chris said. It's always good to say, I'm not gonna do this, and I won't do this, and I won't do this. Well, if you're okay with walking and living that life and being single and not finding this perfect person, and they can't never make a mistake, and this is, I say stand on that shit. Because one thing I'm not doing no more, and I made a vow last year, is ever convincing anybody to break any rule that they feel that they have. Now, I feel, to answer Dr. April's question, if you want to stay in it, then shut up and do it. Shut up and find a way to actually do it. Like, it's a lot of people who say, I want to be a millionaire. And then they wake up every day and do nothing towards being a millionaire. But every time they ask a millionaire, they tell them it was hard to get here. If they didn't win the lottery, they say it was hard to get here. They say, yeah, they get motivated and don't do none of the shit that was hard to get there. So relationships, and everybody I have ever seen who had a 30, 40, or 50-year relationship, even 20, they always say, ooh, we had some hard times, but we overcame. Ooh, it wasn't all easy. Every person. But for some reason, people think it's going to be peaches and cream. And those hard times that they're not elaborating on, most of them probably was infidelity. But they just don't want to include you in them. So I'm thinking that, to me, when you're thinking about longevity and everything else, well, it's about what you're willing to do. If you really want it and it means that much to you, then it should be nothing that stop you. That's what I feel.
Well, Dr. Given, my quick answer is you need to do an audit and see those things that you're going to endure, how do they affect you? Like, for the long run, those things that you're enduring, that you say, navigate, if you don't want to leave a relationship, those things that you call saying affecting you and whatnot, how much are they hurting you, and can you endure them if nothing changes?
I agree. This comes up like Dr. TC said. It's a non-negotiable for me. Like the abuse, fighting, cheating, that's zero tolerance. I'm gone. So once you cheat, that's it. There's no second chances. But I do have
Man.
people that I counsel, and I read a lot of comments and different things as well when folks are when making these videos and talking about leaving these relationships, and these relationships are toxic, and people are commenting like, well, what if I don't want to leave? What if I want to stay in this? What if I want to be with this person? And I actually had a male that I counseled, and he was in a relationship, 2 women, he cheated. And I told him point blank, I said, be honest with the one that you want to be with. He said, well, she wants to know everything that happened. Nobody wants to know everything. I said, yes, she does. I said, because this is the thing that a lot of men don't realize. I say, when you cheat and a woman is hurt, the first thing she's going to think about is what's wrong with her? Why is she not worthy enough? Why did you cheat on her? So if you're completely honest with her and you tell her what happened, everything that happened, all the details, because she wants to know. She wants to know that it wasn't about her. And I told him this. I said, you cheated because you wanted to. It had nothing to do with her whatsoever. Tell her that. Tell her what happened. You liked this lady. You were smitten by this lady. She came onto you. You did it. You kept doing it. That's what it was. He was honest with her. He told her everything that I said. He was completely honest, told her why he did it. And they're still in a relationship because he was honest with her.
She gonna get his ass back though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So that would be my question to the guys. Like, can y'all really tolerate or accept being cheated on from a woman? Or because I mean, guys can't handle that, but y'all want the women to stay around and say we can overcome, but y'all can't dare stay in it.
That's not true.
I want to do women. Do any women believe in leverage? Like every time I see that, people be like, "What? How dare you? How dare you say that?" I'm just saying, in life, like this is a real thing in life. That we not living in the fantasy world. Like, do people believe in leverage? Like, do you understand? Like, in this world, it's some stuff just can't happen. Like right now, this is a fact. Like everybody can't have somebody. But I never, but very rarely do I hear people say, I'm okay with I'm not gonna be married. And I want to be, but it's probably gonna be me, the one who's not gonna be married. I don't hear people say that. I hear people say, I don't want to be married, or I'm gonna find my man, and this is a perfect man out there for me. Or I ain't settling for this. But I very rarely hear somebody say, I want to be married, but just statistically speaking, if I got 5 good homegirls, statistically speaking, that one of us or 2 of us probably not gonna be married.
But we're okay with that. We talk about that. We hear that. We hear that a lot. We talk about that. We say that. And it's okay. You have to get to a point to where there's self-love and you love yourself. Yes, I desire to be married. I would like to be married, but I'm okay if I'm not. I'm okay. I think I live a great life. So if he don't come along and I don't get married, I'm perfectly fine with that. I just believe like everything happens in the timing that it's supposed to happen. And what's for you is going to find you regardless. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. It may not be next week. But what's for you is going to be for you. Just like we have accomplished everything else that we have accomplished up until this point. If that's for us to have, we'll have that too.
See, that's why I think that when I tell my homeboys not to beat this subject, I tell them, bro, it's not a perfect woman. So start acting like, see, I be real. I say, bro, this woman don't have this and she might not have that and she might not have that. Don't think you're going to keep passing over women thinking that you got all the time in the world to be married. You got all the time in the world to start your life. You got all, that's no, you don't, bro. You'll end up playing this game and be 60 by yourself in a nursing home. That's reality. But we can say, when time comes and God aligns the stars, all things will fall in and I'll walk into a grocery store and meet the perfect woman. And then you'll be 70 in the liquor store. And I got uncles who have a lot of money and who lonely as hell by themselves because they thought when time heals and everything passed away, I can always get me a woman. But that's just not reality. Reality is you're going to have to take some good with some bad. And one of the bad, like Chris said, I'm not for cheating. But if a man has 10 things that are hidden, that's hurtful. That can kill you. I'm never saying you should take that. And I'm not saying you should take cheating, but I'm just saying if he has 10 things and then 9 out of 10 things, and the one thing is he got to learn how to be how to have discipline and how to have self-control, because that's what that is in cheating. In most cases, most men can't have. So that can be taught and learned. It's not having to do with love. It can be just a man growing and learning self-discipline and self-control. And that you'll throw all the other 9 things away and say, well, I'm okay being by myself because I know I'm good by myself, but it's okay if I never get this guy and live my life by myself. Like, I never want to be alone. Fuck self-love. Like, do you know when God made Adam, he said Eve too? Like, Adam had self-love. And then God said, give him Eve. Self-love is, the world is not meant to be born by yourself. And maybe I'm wrong, doctor, but I just feel like I love myself, and people can tell you I love myself. But I love my wife. I love being with her. I love walking. I love coming in the house. I love all that shit. I don't want to be without
it. Can I say, Dr. Gibbons?
And she ain't finna sit here and tell me she don't want a man to say that about her one day. I don't want to hear that cap ass shit. She want a man to feel that same way about her. And if I was a potential husband and you sitting on a goddamn podcast talking about, well, if it happens, I'll pass you up. Let me go to the one that want it to happen, that's wishing it to happen, that's manifesting it to happen. Let me go with her because my value will be appreciated. And to your question, Dr. Tiffany, is it correct? The part about will I accept cheating? No. I've been on this earth 40-something years. I've had a lot of sex. I have never got fucked. Every time you had sex, you got fucked. So that's the difference between me and you. So no, I don't want my lady coming back fucked.
Dr. Gibbons, I want to say,
and that's fair.
What I'm sorry, Dr. Tiffany. What the question was, can a man accept it, right? And I want to say the younger me, ego me, it's going to be 2 questions. One that's going to affect my decision is, for most people, it's a face to it. Like I can actually know the dude that she didn't had this this rendezvous with. So now mentally, I see this dude all the time. Ain't nothing against him, but now mentally, I can attach a face to that transgression. The second thing is, I think one of the guys on the show said before, a lot of times men do accept cheating until they find that other people, other dudes find out. If somebody else know, nah, I can't. Now I'm embarrassed, and she didn't cheat it, so nah, my ego not gonna allow it. But I will say, once you get a little older, if you got a little emotional intelligence or whatever they call it, I think if you had a long term relationship, some people can work through it. I listen. When I was younger, I had somebody cheat on me, and it wasn't because a lack of sex. Like it was no issue in the sex. That person just had a character issue that she was a cheater. She got off. It wasn't nothing I could do or that I was trying to do. So, sometimes you just gotta have some understanding. But if I'm older and my girl cheat and I know it's because I didn't drop the ball somewhere, then I gotta evaluate. You know what I mean? I know if I'm out here dropping meat off all over time and she cheat, then it's a question that I gotta be like, let me be realistic and say, do I value this woman, and is it worth savaging? My feelings will be hurt for a minute, but if I know at the end of the day I got something that I ain't gonna find nowhere else or something I didn't built on, then I'm gonna have a different approach to the cheating. I never accept it. I guess the word wouldn't be accept. It's just something I'm gonna have to be 100 with myself about.
But the thing about it is, do you value that person enough not to put their life in danger? Because I don't think you're looking at the health component of this. When people cheat, especially when they step out and some of them get other women pregnant, you've had sex with multiple women without using any type of protection. So then you're going back to that wife or you're going back to that girlfriend and you're potentially passing her on herpes and any other sexually transmitted diseases that are out there. You don't take that into consideration. That's dangerous.
Well, exactly.
Most people don't when they.
I take it into consideration because I want to be truthful with my woman. I don't want. That's the reason why I don't want to be lying about it. I don't want to have to do all those things. Whatever, we're going to talk about this. So her safety is going to be paramount because this is the woman that I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. So I can't risk bringing something home again, but that's in our household, and that's what we talk about, and that's what we discuss. My policy is not going behind your woman's back and not telling her what's going on. My policy is having open dialogue with her and working something out, especially in our 40s.
That's a good point by Aaron Peter and Mr. Redmond. Forgiveness or acceptance. So that's two different things. Now that is something, Dr. Given. I mean, and Dr. Tiffany. Those two different things.
All right.
Did Mario go?
Yeah. I just got a question for Dr. April. Do you think that because I feel like it's easier for a man to accept cheating when he has cheated or he come from a previous life of cheating? And I feel like what Chris, when he's articulating right now, it's almost coming from a place of like, I felt that too. Like, yeah, this is the game. This is kind of the playing field I'm on, right? But when it comes to a person like Dr. TC said this, women are emotional. Everything men do, they hurt. So men know that too. So if I know my woman is emotional, that means I know most of the times, not all, she was emotionally attached to this guy. So I don't even know when the cheating will stop because it might be too much for her to stop. Because not only did she cheat, she might actually like him or love something about him to give her body. Because most time when you have a woman, she's just not the run of the mill, just floozy, right? She's somebody who this is just an ongoing thing, and she probably found somebody who made her feel a certain way, and she don't want to let it go. So sometimes men can walk up in the morning and just have no discipline. Meet a girl at the bus stop, like you said, not think, just be reckless and go have sex with her. And then they can say, that girl you just seen, she got hit by a bus, be like, dang, and keep on going by his day. But a woman will be like tied to them dudes, and they be like still calling, still like she be trying to break it out because she want her husband, but that dude be really. That's why I feel like it'll be harder for me with anybody cheating on me because I feel like it'll be an emotional tie to their man. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I hear what Horace was saying because mature. I understand you don't want to just throw your life away, but I would be too scared that he has some part of her that he was able to get to, and I don't know if she even strong enough to let it go.
She getting plowed. I'm a plower. She is getting plowed.
But some women don't cheat for that. Some women
Yeah,
cheat.
no,
Some
exactly.
women cheat because he make her feel like right now I might be working too much and too busy. Then you know I seen people cheat at work. Like we tell like because they just persistent and it's in your face and they giving you everything, even if it's lies that the people at home not giving you
80-20
because he
rule.
focuses on the important stuff. So he missing you got your nails changed a different color. He missing them new glasses because he trying to make sure that the rent paid and the kids picked up and the car got oil. And then the guy at work who don't have a pot to piss in the window, throw it out is, hey, so he's smiling. He know your favorite Frappuccino because that's a $2 thing. But he's not putting tires on your car that's $1,500. You see, I'm saying I understand how you can get caught up in both of them realms, but you're gonna get caught in. Even when you want to break loose, I've seen this at a job. And I know this woman wanted to stop. I ain't trying to take off her. I know she did. But she was wrapped around that little joker in the warehouse was wearing her out. You know what I'm saying? And she really wanted to stop and leave that dude alone. Like crying. She had to take days off of work. But he had a piece of her heart. And I was like, yeah.
He touched her heart. Listen, oftentimes the dude they cheat with is the unemployed dude that got nothing but time to call her, text her all day. Cause the real dude working 2 jobs or working and he's tired and he ain't got time to do. It be the dude that ain't got nothing to do all day but text, call, and he touching her heart. All right, he touches because when he go deep.
I'm saying he got a job. He just not what he was. Like the dude was younger, so he had a job, but he just didn't have no responsibilities as the other man did. So he would just he could take you out in the middle of a Wednesday because it's him in an apartment by himself. He's a player. I've been at that point, but I had to let that young brother go because I felt like he was putting the whole warehouse in safety because I just knew her husband was gonna come shoot up the place. So I had to fire his ass.
He was giving her that frozen pork chop.
Hey,
not blind boy.
Not with them high ass standards she got. I know she didn't let the mailboy hit her. No way. Not with high standards that won't settle for.
But you know what, Chris? Because it tricked her because she felt like, oh, I know I'm not gonna fall for him because he ain't nothing. So I'm gonna use him and then use him for this, and then I can break this off whenever I want. Until, as Horace alluded to, you never knew that his first love was being a pornographer, and he wanted to be that, but he just could never pass the physical. So he came to work at the warehouse. So this is what he wanted to do all his life, and he met her, and she was wrung around his finger. And I'm saying no kind of say. I'm pretty sure Dr. April had all the frisky stuff in her chair. But I'm just saying, it just
April was getting hit by a male boy before.
You knocked you knocked the Mario coins out of boy. Common sense is going in every stroke, just right out the window.
Whoever that dude she constantly complained about, that was him. That's the dude that got up on her and the male boy that got up on her ass. And she ate him ever since.
Dr. Tiffany, you asked the question and then got quiet.
Well, I was just curious to hear what you all think. And I think one of the biggest things that we heard was they lack discipline, right? Yeah. And not just guys, people in general, in certain capacities lack discipline. So at what age do you actually develop discipline as an individual? In like you say we can stick around and you can teach it, but you can't, in my opinion, discipline is something you either have or you don't at a certain point in life.
Right.
And I believe
people learn it at different times.
That's what I'm saying. At what point do you learn it as an individual? Like I think Dr. April alluded to it earlier. As people who set out and accomplish certain things, we had to have a certain level of discipline to get where we are. So at what point or why would we settle for somebody who lacks discipline in the basic level of understanding and thinking and just processes?
But see, and I'm saying you shouldn't, but let's be real. Here goes back to that leverage of how many. I'm saying we got to go to just the sheer numbers. Like, I'm not saying it's fair, but let's just talk about the numbers right now. If it's 3-1 black men to black women, let's just say you want to date a black man, right? It's 3-1, and then you go into the homosexual community, then you go into the ones who die, then you go into the ones who are in jail. So I'm sorry, and people want to just throw them facts out, but those are facts. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then when you go into those facts, you got to say, why should you? Because it's not fair, but this is what you got to choose from. So you don't have to choose it, but then you're going to have to say, either I'm going to go outside my race, I'm going to be super patient and wait till I'm 60 to get married, or I might not get married. I'm just saying, explore those other options. Don't act like I'm going to just not settle and miraculously I'm going to get married. And this because, no, statistically speaking, you're probably not going to get married. You're probably not going to have nobody because, I hate to say it, the pickings out here, like Chris saying, is you almost got to show y'all forget that we are the askers. Like, it's almost like y'all putting us on audition when, like, at the end of the day, oh, if you don't want me, okay, I'm going to ask someone. I have the power to ask a woman to marry me. Until black women start saying, well, I'm going to ask a man, then you don't have no power but to decide to take what you get or be single. And see, that's the thing when you shake it. I'm saying y'all doctors, so y'all understand what I'm saying. Like, this is reality. You don't want you take the emotions out of it. You don't have no leverage.
Yeah, and I think Dr. April alluded to that. I mean, not Dr. TC alluded to that on one of our previous episodes as well, that you all did mention that you all do have the power. And we do have to, quote unquote, wait on y'all to decide. But ultimately, it doesn't mean that we have to accept it, right? We don't have to.
Then go screw somebody new every 3 to 4 months. That's the single life.
No,
that's how
I don't
it works.
think you have to go to somebody new
You
every
have to go
3 to 4
screw
months.
That's single life.
But you don't have to be married either, Chris. You don't have to be married either. It's tons of us out here dating. It's like, just because we're not married doesn't mean we don't have nobody to talk to.
We are benefited from it. Single men are benefited from it. The longer you stay single, that means 3 guys a year. That means 3 guys get it every single year. So continue to stay single. We still get it because you're going to get into these 6 months, 3 months, 4 months rendezvous, and that means for 3 guys a year. 3 single guys a year.
Well, even if it's one guy every 2 years. Even if it's one guy every 2 years. If you're dating, come on, we all adults. At some point you're gonna have sex, and then if it don't work, you're gonna have to find somebody else. And at some point y'all gonna have sex, and that don't work. That's a revolving door. So I'm not saying you gotta be married. Damn marriage. You don't never have to be married. I'm saying companionship, honesty, trust, and locked in with a monogamous relationship. It don't have to be a title. I'm saying to get that, a man has to give that to you. You don't have to accept it. You don't even have to get it.
You're right, but women can be patient too. Like you say, be super patient. We can be super patient. We can wait for what's for us. We can. Ladies out there, don't think that you have to go rush and be with the next man that just invites you out and want to be with you. You can be patient and wait for the right person to come along that's emotionally mature, that can have a conversation, that's stable mentally, physically.
And I'm saying,
all of that stuff, you can do that. You don't have to settle for just what's out here, any Joe Blow that just come and say, hey, how you doing? You don't have to do that. That's all we're saying.
It didn't happen in the first 40 years. It's bound to happen in the next 40, right?
I'm saying if I have to wait for the perfect job, I don't have to take any kind of job. I'm gonna wait till the perfect boss. I get a right pension. I'm gonna get the right pay, the right days off. I'm not working until I signing nobody's acceptance letter until I get to. You're gonna say that's crazy, Mario. You need to get your ass a job, and then if that don't work, you need to build up from there and go from there and go from there. And I'm not saying you have to do none of this. I don't want because it seems like I'm telling y'all that y'all have to. I'm saying it's okay. My mom is single at an old age. I love her. She's patient. I'm not saying that I'm praying to God she gets somebody. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying I don't hear women uttering those words in big groups. I know you saying y'all special group of exceptional Black star-led women, y'all talk about that. I'm saying in the several groups, Horace is in different groups than me, Zay, Chris, and me. And all the women we know, I don't hear that amongst a group of women saying, I'm okay with waiting till I'm 65 to find my man. I don't hear that rhetoric. I hear the rhetoric of, I'm going to find my man because God gave me him and he out there and I ain't taking none of you sorry jokers.
But this is another thing, Mario, that I think that I need to address to that people, contrary to popular belief, there are men out there that would wine and dine women and communicate with her and love her to death, and she not even have sex with him at all. That's the real thing.
Real.
That happens
Why
too.
you wasted your time with a man that you don't
But
even
you still, but both of
sexually
y'all
interested in?
still, if you're looking for companion, I'm talking about the end goal. If you're looking for companionship, forget the sex. If you actually looking for somebody, like somebody to actually come home and give a damn about you in the long run, that gotta mean something. So if you tell me that I want that, just me, I wanted that. Like I wanted that. So I know that in my life, it's men out there who want it too, right? And it's women who want it. But I run into a lot of good qualified women who are amazing, fucking amazing. They could be somebody's helpmate to success tomorrow. But then they looking at the world like, I'm not taking this, I'm not taking that, I'm not taking this, and you better be this, and you bet. And I'm saying this, out of all the men I know, I'm sorry, I'm a man. I don't know too many of them men they describing. Out of all the men I know, I don't know too many men who you are describing right now. And I'm in a bad group, but I hang in a lot of different groups of people. And
But no, I get what you're saying. The men doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Number one, we're not looking for perfection because you're never gonna find it. Nobody's out there perfect. You're gonna have to take some stuff. You're gonna have to sacrifice.
Well, what's the stuff you're gonna take? That's what I want to know. Because we never get to the stuff you're gonna take.
I think what I'm not gonna accept is
that's what you always tell me. I want to know what you will take.
What I will take.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot that I will take, but I think
Can you give me 3 of them?
Huh?
Can you give me 3 that you'll take? I just want to pin y'all down to exactly telling me what you will take. Just 3 of them.
Absolutely. I will take somebody who is working on their career, for sure. I will accept someone who is working on like their mental health and capacity. And I'll even accept somebody working on their physical. But
that's good.
That sounds like a la carte.
I mean, but you have to think like coming with those things, you have to say, is somebody really mentally stable? Because anybody can bring their representative to a table for a certain amount of time.
Can I give a realistic observation that I think is realistic? This is one. A lot of the so-called, I ain't gonna say so-called, a lot of the women that are in the position, career, and they're doing good, and they get on these podcasts and they talk about what they require, and the man got to do this and whatnot. They allow that to happen, then they get into a vulnerable spot where they say, well, shit, nothing's working out. And then on the low, she dates somebody that she know don't check out none of the damn boxes, just to have somebody go, I'm just going to give him a chance for a second. We're going to go out. And then somehow she get in a vulnerable position where she let him get a little piece because she just need to knock the edge off. And when she get the edge knocked off, he knock it out the box. And now she's in a physical situation where all of this out the window. So she talk a good game, but he knocking her lights out. And now she's in a situation where all that stuff she taught is all out the window. That's the realistic observation that I see with a lot of things that's going on now. But just my observation, Dr. Tiffany.
I mean, that's real, and that's for some women. One thing that I will take is someone that I can grow with. Someone that may not all the way be there, but he's working on it. He has goals, ambitions, dreams. That's specifics. That's someone that I can grow with. That he's still got some things that he want to do.
That means he has aspirations.
She gave me 3 things. She said somebody who not. I want to know, like, I could take a man who don't make a lot. That's just like not grow with. I'm saying, like, some women ain't gonna take. They got to have a certain number. Like she just said, he don't have to be in the best of shape. He don't have to be in the best. He don't have to be the most articulate or the smartest, but as long as he's trying. I'm saying I need this here.
I just want to know that he can like be self-sufficient, right? Like I'm a grinder, right? I have hustles. I need him to have that same level of drive. Like you don't have to make the same income or salary I make. You just have to have drive.
Right. Dr. Tiffany, that opposites a lot of times attract. Like, if you're a grinder, sometimes the guy that you get with might not be a grinder yet.
I don't need you to be a bum either.
That doesn't say that he's a bum. He's not a grinder yet. Like you may know some avenues that he doesn't know, and then he gets around you and he starts to learn, and then he comes up. and then he can meet you. He may not come in, is what I'm saying, at that level that you're talking about. But from the conversation that you guys are giving, it seems like that guy may elude you because he didn't meet those checkoff point, those boxes that you guys were talking about up front. And sometimes, and you guys said something about growth, and I believe that sometimes a lot of men grow into that because
Yeah, that's why I said grow. That's
about
what
the
I meant.
yeah.
That's what
But
I
it's
said. I said
perspective,
I
but
want
I'm
to
saying
see
I don't
them.
know what that means though. I'm saying
I
like
said
this.
I want
I'm
to
gonna
see
be
them
direct and say
working. I
I
don't
don't
want to
want a
see
woman
them
to
being
do
a
this.
bum. Like
I don't.
that's the difference. Like I feel like I said, he doesn't have to be where I'm at. I said he has to just be willing to give more. And I think that comes with
What is you
discipline, right?
saying?
You have to be
You're
disciplined
using a
enough.
lot of words. You're not saying anything.
I'm
Say
How
saying
did I
something.
not?
He needs to
just
have
this.
this. He needs to make this amount of
Right,
money.
that's what I'm
But
saying.
we
That's what
can't
makes
say
sense.
that, Chris. We can't give a specific because we don't know it until we see it.
You're
It's
talking to
like
men.
No,
so,
I'm
We
but that's
saying
speak
what I'm
like
saying. Like
this.
this
We
person just
speak in
said, sometimes you as
specifics.
the female activate the spark. Sometimes we activate the
yeah,
spark.
but
So
go
in
ahead.
that case, it's like, okay, well, he don't have to be in the same tax bracket that I'm in. For me personally, it's not about his money.
No, you
It's
have to say
about how he treats me. He needs to be able to treat me with respect, treat me with dignity, be honest with me. That's
Dignity.
a plus.
Dignity
All
is
that
the
for
key
me.
word.
I'm saying you have exceptions to the rule.
Dignity.
Like when you go fill out a job application of whatever you have some people they looking for this person, but somebody else could come and wow them. But I'm saying they still have a standard level of I don't want to look at people unless you have this.
Right. The standard for me is being honest, being trustworthy, and able to articulate and communicate your feelings to me. Be able to be vulnerable when need be. Because I'm the most loyal person in the world. You get me as a woman, you don't got to worry about nothing. I'm going to have your back and front, and I'm going to be loyal. You don't have to worry about me cheating on you and being with nobody else because that's it. I'm gravitating to you and I'm catering to you. I cook, I clean, I do all that stuff. I'm not above none of that. So, but I need somebody that's going to be able to communicate with me, not run and hide when you're scared to have a conversation. When something's going on in your life, and then, hey, you disappear instead of coming talk to me and have a conversation about, hey, I just fell on hard times, or my cousin just did X, Y, and Z, or I just got this ticket, or whatever. Let's communicate. We're grown. At
But
this
you,
point, we should be able to communicate.
so
Oh
Dr.
my
April, I'm
goodness.
glad you said what you're saying right now. And in your profession, right, you spoke on in previous meetings that you have a lot of consultations with guys, and you
Mhm.
guys get a chance to speak about that same thing that you're talking about, right?
Right.
You know that that's a big problem, especially for young black men trying to transition from what we saw, trying to attain everything that you guys are talking about, marriage and things like that, but then they don't know how to come to you and tell you they don't know how to do something. As I was saying with Dr. Tiffany, you have different grinds. He's interested as hell. He wants to know it. He sees it, but he just may not know how to do it. And his pride gets in his way because women are emotional, men are ego and pride driven. So now he doesn't know how to come to you and say that. Would you create a space like that? Most women don't. I guess why I'm saying
Yes,
that.
you create a
Create a
space
space.
like that. But I also said in that same conversation, Zay, that
Mhm,
younger men are doing that. So yes,
mhm.
it is men that are doing that. I talked to a lot of them in counseling. And I told y'all before, it's between that age range of 25 to 35. Those men can be vulnerable. They can articulate, they can have a conversation. Typically, it's the men 35 to 50 that seem like they don't have a clue. And
Right, the
they're
ones
scared
who
to
built the
Yeah,
world.
communicate.
now that's
I'm
Yeah,
different
you be the
world.
one
So
that's worked
I
and pay
think so.
bills,
Hold
take
on,
care of
Chris.
kids.
I think is this. So the dynamic, because with my daughter being in school, and I see this a lot. You know what I'm saying? When she comes home and the way how she articulates things, they've created now a space that we didn't have. The 35 to 50-year-old that you're talking about. See all the stuff that vulnerability that they're able to do. See, that was called sissy and punk stuff and everything else, and nobody wanted to be a sissy punk or anything. Sorry if anybody's on here that offends. That's not what we're trying to do. But that's the verbiage that we got growing up. So we didn't know how to be that. Yes, a lot of us are stepping out and getting our emotional intelligence up, but you're correct. Some of those guys from that 25 to 35 age range, because some of them are still just whacked out as us because of the leadership, apple don't fall far from the tree type environment, don't know still how to do that. And I think that's where a lot of problems come, where the women they have the demands and what they're asking for from the man, and he wants to do it, but he's not able to be in a space where he can because it's this constant. you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this. And in his mind, he's probably thinking, God damn, I'm trying my best with what I have, I think. And I know, like you said, you see that a lot more in your profession when they're sitting on the couch
I
and
think you
speaking
got
in that.
Now, I think you got a generation of people that's all they do is talk. Y'all done created dudes that talk about their feelings and they stay in that little emotional space, and
And can't
then
change the
you got
title.
you got to question their man because they just so wounded and fragile, and
Yeah.
then y'all end up complaining about those
About them
same
being too
men.
soft. So it's,
But
yeah.
listen, I'm just saying. Listen, on the last subject, I'm just saying. I know a lot of so-called bum ass dudes with some on paper badass chicks, and that's why I say the conversation just don't seem to be matching up
Right,
sometimes.
I agree
But
with that too.
I,
I agree
Agreed.
with that because
Totally.
because of this. I say what Dr. April is saying. I think is a very solid ask. I'm not saying what you're asking for is I don't understand the gravity of you getting a man who actually intelligently can speak to you. All I'm saying is it's easier for you to get a rich man than that man. That is the top. You saying I don't really need that much. That is the top of the cake of men. A man at the age of 40 who can do what you just said is everything. You're like, I ain't asking for that much. Yes, you are. I know a lot of rich dudes who can't do that. I know a lot of strong dudes who can't do that. I know a lot of intelligent dudes who still can't do that. The tip of the guys on this earth are those guys that you're saying, all I need is that. That is the best. That's a guy who understands you, who gonna value you, who gonna know what to speak to, when to not speak to. That is the best. You're requesting money. Nothing can supersede a guy who can do that and be masculine. If you get a masculine man who can
You can
actually
get money.
articulate his feelings, that is the top. That is the king. So when you're saying all I need is this, this is the king. It's easy for you to say, I want a man to make $200,000 who look like more. That's easier to find than the guy you just said. That's all I'm saying. I think sometimes when you say that, it's like, it ain't nothing. Shit, look, these my homeboys. We talk all the time.
But that's the bare minimum. That's why it's so
You said
sad because that's the bare minimum that most women are asking for.
to y'all because we're not focused on that. We're focused on getting money,
Money.
protecting, and providing. So when you tell me to step outside of what my innate ability as a masculine man is to find out what I need to do to make my woman feel secure, that is not just something just the bare minimum to me. That's something I got to work on. I got to try it, and I got to appreciate the person I'm doing for. That's just not something. That's something I had to work. I had to say I value
Everything.
my wife, so I'm going to work and pour myself into these things. You tell I can roll out the bed in the morning to go get some money. Chris can call me right now. I drive to Orlando to fight for him and protect. That's who I am. That's easy to do. But for you to tell me, don't be argumentative, let my woman, that's something I had to work on because of love. So you're saying the bare minimum? That's not the bare minimum. That's the cream of the crop. That's all I'm saying.
but emotional intelligence. Doctor, did we give you everything you're looking for tonight?
That's why you shaking your
Because
Worked up.
you don't want to communicate with a man. A man don't talk in these vague terms. You got to tell him what you want. You can't say, I just want an ambitious man. No, that's not saying it. That's using words and not saying anything. Break it down and tell him exactly what you need. Men need to know exactly what to do so we can have a goal and we can accomplish it, and then we can move on to another one. We can't talk in these generalities. You can't have the when I'm sorry, when we talk, it always seemed like, well, I see it from both sides. No, we pick a point and we go with that. So you have to talk to us in those specific terms, or we're not really understanding what you're saying.
Okay, Chris.
That's
So
all I'm
if
saying. If you want him to communicate, he has a way of communicating too, and you want him to communicate to you. It ain't like he asking you to communicate to him, because if he asking you, then he would have to communicate in your way. But you're asking for communication from him. Communicate in his form, or at least give a damn to try.
So Chris, you're saying be very direct with them, right? So if we're direct and we say, hey, like example, I'm gonna go back to what Derek said. He was like, hey, if you say let's grind together or whatever. So if I was like, hey, let's both make sure we have 2 additional streams of income coming in at all times. That's
Yeah.
very specific, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So now if you give him from August to March and he still ain't figured it out, and you still have these conversations regularly, then what?
What
Because
you
you've
gonna
been
do?
very direct and straight.
But
Then
what
you
you gonna
leave.
do? What are you
Don't
gonna
say you
Don't
do?
leave.
leave. You be real and leave. If you know that's not what you want, you leave. And don't
Right.
look back. Don't apologize for it. Don't make up no kind of other excuses for it. Because that's what I mean. Well, you know, it wasn't that I left him for the money. Yes, you left him because you broke, nigga. I'm going to find me somebody who got more money. That's the only thing I don't respect. If Chris tell me if I tell Chris why you left her hard, I'm gonna say, man, that bitch, man, she got a nigga struggling. I'm working 3 jobs. That bitch ain't got no money. I'm straight. I'm not gonna make no excuses for it. See, women will say, they'll do vague stuff like Chris said and say, I just want a man that's trying. So
What?
So a dude will go work, he'll go to work 4 days out the week and bullshit, and then have a bullshit job for 2 years and see you a grinder, Dr. Tiffany. So that's gonna aggravate you to see somebody not feeling their full potential, right? So, but he's trying. See, he going to work every day. He just the guy who pushed the baskets at truck. That's gonna aggravate you. Tell him from the beginning. No, brother. You got 6 months at public. You better be the stalker. And after that, you better have your name on the wall as manager, because that's the kind of people we are. And I'm not selling it for less. And if he can't deal with it, you go on to find that. That's why I say I'm not telling you not to find. I'm telling you don't bullshit people. What women do is you send out these like cadences. Like Chris said, I want a hard working person. I want somebody who loves me. What the hell does that even mean? So right now, all 4 of us are different men. I think all 4 of us are good. All 4 of us grind in our own way, but we're all 4 different kind of women's men. So right now, when you say I want somebody who is ambitious, all of us are at different points of our ambition right now. So some women gonna look at me, Zay, Chris, and Jordan and say, I don't want this, I want that, I want this. But all of us can check off the same boxes right now. If you just give us a generic list, you need to be specific. I want a man who make between this and this. I want this. So at least you know that, bro, this is not the job I can go for. I can't go be a damn rocket scientist. It's gonna say aeronautical engineer, bachelor's in this. It's gonna say master's in this. So when I look at that thing, unless I'm willing to lie, I'm gonna know, hey, no matter how much I want to go to space, I'm gonna have to go visit Tootie's homeboy in Bankhead, because that's the only way I'm gonna see spaceships on Bankhead. Because I'm not going to NASA with my resume and that resume, so I'm not gonna waste on people's time. But if NASA put out, hey, anybody who loves stars and who just really ever wants to be in space and don't mind riding rockets,
you just gotta, you just gotta love ships. That's all.
Yeah.
But I'm not talking. Going back to what Dr. Tim said, like they just said, if you give that, y'all had that conversation and he don't meet your expectation, at that point, that's when you got to say, can I deal with this fair? Because really, most can't. And then you sit there and then the resentment starts to set in. Then you lose respect for them. Then you unhappy. That when in reality, you should make a mind decision instead of heart. Because you like them and you want to make it, you want to see it happen. But your mind said, I know he don't have the capacity to do what I'm asking. You should have left then. But a lot of times y'all gonna stick, and then you're going to have resentment and lose respect for his lack of meeting your expectation. So that's when you have to take accountability for me staying in a situation that you knew you should have left. But then you don't, and then you turn into the victim. I just say that those are my thoughts.
No, that's the key. What you said at the end, Horace. Don't leave, and then he don't become what you want him to be, and then he wasted your time. Yep. He played with you. He led you on. No, bro, he likes pushing baskets at Publix. Okay. He likes Jordans, pushing baskets at and long nights in the club. That's what it said on his resume. That makes him happy. You just seen the potential in him and felt, if I'm this strong woman come in his life and I show him what he can be, oh, he gonna be it. And no, he's not. He's gonna just find another woman who likes long nights in the club, and she likes Jordan too. And then we're gonna see them online with the matching Jordans, and they're gonna be in every club picture together, and they're gonna be happy.
Yes, while you're drinking wine at home, talking about I don't really need to be mad. I can do it.
The vintage. I watch them Tyler Perry movies. They be giving people hope. That's the problem. So did we answer y'all questions tonight, Dr. Tiff and Dr. Givens?
Yes, you did.
Yes,
Happy birthday, Zay, before I forget.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Zay.
I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all always a good person.
The show, listen, we're going to cut the show at that because, we go long. But to the other questions we had, Dr. Cook and Dr. Manning. So I want all four of them on there when we ask the other questions. But they can be very elusive at sometimes. So, oh
I
no.
get back there.
I'm gonna say this too. Dr. April is an interesting person to be bringing out all this rhetoric too, because she every morning she fills the sky with butterflies and sunshines and rays, and she speaks life into the world.
Mhm.
And then she sets this bar of understanding, humbleness, and all this, and say, all I'm looking for is, I'm just a simple home girl. What the hell? Like this is, I'm looking at you, every man who watching your page, like, damn, I don't even know what to say to her. Like, what? Like, how do I come in? Like, I don't even know.
I say,
Like, how do I have a conversation with her? Like, she gonna think I'm a dummy. This don't even sound right talking to her. That's what I'm saying. When you look at your page and everything you got going, it's like you might be a little bit approachable. I'm gonna say to the certain level of men because of the atmosphere. Like, do I even want to deal with that person? Because you're a down home person if you get to know you. But from the outside, it seemed like you one of them woke people. Be like, have you did the work, brother?
Wait, why are you addressing me with Grand Rising Queen?
Yeah.
But they'll be them stone cold. they'll be them undercover. Man, we know about you.
You already know, Chris. You already know.
Hey, Chris, boy, it's lucky hat tonight for you.
yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, I tried the scheduling didn't work. I was trying to get them all out there. I was still trying to get out there to get on one of y'all tapings. I want to be in the building. I seen the intro y'all put out. Boy, them cars was nice. You know what I mean?
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
The cars was nice.
Nice car.
Yeah,
that was a nice car.
Them cars was moving in the back. Listen,
You seen the trunks?
man,
a lot of space.
Yeah,
A
damn
lot of
sure
space.
did. Well, I'm excited for what's coming for you guys, man. I just want to be a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, y'all gotta come out. Come out. We're gonna do some more episodes in August, so maybe y'all can get a flight out in August.
I'm there.
And hey, you don't fly me out if you expecting.
You getting flued out, Chris?
I'm not that kind of guy.
I'll have a conversation with him first. Let him know what y'all
For
got.
real. I done been flued out before. That ain't nothing special to me.
You want to talk expectations?
Yeah. He needs some
They
specifics.
said they gonna feed you turkey leg hut, and then you gonna have a good time. You is not that kind of man. Tell him, Chris.
I just want to file a grievance with the state of Texas. Where's Turkey Wing Hut? I don't like legs. Turkey legs is disgusting to me.
I know they are.
They are.
Shout out to Bun B with Trill Burger. Just open up, man. Shout out to the legend.
Come on, man. I can't wait to get. I heard it's actually pretty good too.
It look like Five Guys, but hey, I mean,
smash burgers, man.
Yeah,
it's one brother.
Hey man, I'm gonna support the blackness, but Turkey Leg Hut, get some wings on the damn menu. Everybody don't like legs. So, all right, closing comments. We made another show. Two of the doctors took off with valiant excuses. I'm gonna check the weather over in Texas, and we'll look at Dr. TC's story later to see what's going on over there. But we want to welcome our new guest, Dr. Tiffany, who made her first appearance tonight on Black Super Friends Network. So we appreciate you for giving your insight, and we hope you're back. You stood in the paint, so
I was just about to say she had her on.
Yeah, congratulations.
I don't know why y'all would expect otherwise. Like, do you see who I'm with? I'm with Dr. TC, Dr. April, Dr. Tamika. You got to hold your own when you with them.
I would challenge you to go back and watch the first episode that we did.
I was just about to say that. Well, we did. Yeah. I don't know. You might want to talk to some of their friends.
Yeah, you want to go back, boy, because it was Pinata night.
Come back.
Yeah. So we'll give you a chance to give closing comments. We'll go around the horn. I'm going to let Chris Leo go first to show it how it's done.
Well, ladies, I really appreciate you being here tonight. It's always a pleasure. The new member, we love you just like we love the rest of them. And I normally make this about us and our product promotion, but tonight I'm going to make it about the ladies. I need you guys to go get their books. This is Dr. April. This is Dr. April's book. This is Dr. Tamika Manning's book. These are great. I got mine off of Amazon. Well, I supposed to been got this one off of Dr. April's website, but I ordered this June 2nd, and they still ain't send it to me, and now I had to go through Amazon, so they done pay $60 damn for this goddamn book.
Really?
But your Lulu site is terrible. Dr. TC, I know you sell herbs and stuff. I will patronize your business. Dr. Tiffany, I don't know what you
Tiffany
do.
has a book. She has a children's book.
I will buy your book. We support here at the Black Super Friends podcast. We support our women, especially our Black women. Go get the book.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Shout out to Dr. Manning, one of my most favorite thirst trappers out there in Texas, boy. All right, Super Mario Senior.
I must admit, Chris definitely said it, man. I'm so proud of y'all. You know, I feel like a little big brother. I know all y'all 20, so I'm gonna say big brother. Seeing y'all, you know, meeting y'all and hanging around, y'all definitely like sisters to us. And then seeing y'all growth, and I'm just so excited, like Horace said, for y'all next level, because I can see it's gonna be amazing, man, and especially in Houston and doing what y'all doing. So, Dr. Tiffany, it was definitely nice to meet you, and you welcome back at any time. You don't have to come with these ladies if you don't want to. I'm just playing. Don't leave my sister alone. But hey, happy birthday to my boy Zay, man. This is the quietest birthday he ever had in his life. And I'm gonna say, man, I must say, you said discipline. This is discipline right here. See, my boy he's 24. And I seen my boy grow. I'm just gonna shout him out right now in the last 2 years a lot, man. You know, and I'm happy to call him my friend, man. Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. We pray to God that you see many more, man.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you, my brother.
Put both of your hands in the air, because I still believe that Mia Malcolm is you with a fake page, and it'd be you. Yeah, this ain't adding up. Shout out to our King Zay.
Man, Mia had a knocked out, drag out text message war one after the last show, man. I love you though, Mia.
All right, Zay.
You're a real one now. Yes.
Birthday
hey,
man.
Listen. I appreciate you, Horace. I appreciate the birthday cigar. I got a chance to take in the Key West sunset with that bad boy and some nice DH bourbon. Oh man, it was great. But yeah, Mario, like you said, I've been trying to put those things into play for myself. I toned it down a lot this year. Surprised myself. I was very low key. I just did something that I wanted to do. I am upset though that I did not fulfill everything on this birthday. So I went down to Key West just to kind of give you guys a little insight on what I did do. I've never been to Key West. I've been a Florida boy all my years. Never been to Key West. So I took that long drive. Man. And it's hot. Man, that thing was like Mexico hot. Boy, it was hot. But I told myself, I got up early that morning. I talked to Hardy, and I told him, I said, I'm going parasailing. Forget it. And I got right up to the point, and my accountability partner got cold feet on me. And I said, you know what? It's all right. It's a reason for everything. And then it was a timing issue, so I didn't get a chance to fulfill that yet. So that's still on the to-do list. I might still get that out before the end of the year. However, I didn't go over the top with my celebration. I just took it in, and I did something for myself this year. Usually, I'm always trying to be there for everybody and facilitate. And Zay just shut down, and Zay just did Zay, which was amazing. You know, I'm usually the one that's on the go. I'm usually the one that's, in the club, whatever the case may be, or at the place to be. And the place to be was with me. And that was great, man. So I never knew that not doing too much on your birthday could be that great. So I just wanted to share that with y'all, because that was a mile marker for me to just absolutely do nothing. I think a wise person once told me that the hardest thing in the world is to do nothing. And I believe him.
Right.
Dr. Tiffany.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on with the Doctors of Dallas tonight. It was definitely a pleasure and honor to be with each of you. Definitely dropped some good gems that we can utilize. So I hope everybody tunes into our show. I hope you all come down when we do our premiere as well as our gala, but only if y'all are single. And definitely you can buy my book on Amazon. It is called Being Different Makes You Unique. Or you can check out my website, www.accomplishedexperience.com. That's AKK.
OMPLISHED experience.com. All Black owned everything.
Tell us
Thank
about your book, Dr.
So
Tiffany.
it's a children's book called Being Different Makes You Unique. And you can purchase it from my website or Amazon, preferably my website. And it talks about adoption, which is a taboo topic in the African American community. And it's literally my story about how I was adopted and how I've risen to Black excellence in spite of being adopted.
Can you
Let's go.
put it
Put your
in
information inside the Can
you put it in
Sorry,
the
Chris. Go ahead.
DM or comment it?
Put it in the
Comment us a
comments.
link. We'll definitely get the book.
All right.
Thanks,
Dr.
sir.
Gibbs.
Yes, it is
Yeah, all
cancer
right.
season, Cancer Gang. Thank you, brothers, for having us once again. I always enjoy meeting up with you guys and talking. We learn from you guys as well. So it's amazing to get your perspective on this thing called life and relationships. So I think you help us out really well. Also, my self-help journal is strategies and tips to improve your overall well-being. It is actually cheaper on lulu.com
But
and Amazon, but it's everywhere. It's at Books of Noble, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, I meant, and Lulu, and as well as Walmart.com. So anywhere you buy your books, you can find my journal, and it's designed to give you tools and techniques. So for people, the thought in mind was for people who can't necessarily or don't want to, for whatever reason, get into a therapy session or meet with a therapist. You have some tools and tips that you can learn about yourself, men, women. So it talks about relationships, depression, anxiety, a lot of different things. And you can also journal your notes as well. So check it out. I think it's a great self-help tool.
Well, Dr. Gibbons, I think you'll be proud that this week I was a part of a mental health event,
Oh, yes.
international
Okay.
He
mental
was.
health event. And I want to give a shout out to Tanya Reed for bringing that event to Riviera Beach, Florida. It was the Sound Minds Conference that was held in Riviera Beach, Florida. Many panelists which talked about suicide. They talked about grief. They talked about
Special
taking
needs
care of,
children.
taking care of others. They talked about having Black men check in. So shout out to Chairman Lawson from the Riviera Beach City Council, Tanya Reed from Sound Minds Conference, and all the guests, especially Kimberly Simmons, who gave me a lot of help during that event. So Sound Minds Conference was interesting. And listen, I had a moment on there where I got choked up. And so that means that
Vulnerable.
I had to find somebody's couch to go to, because apparently I got some stuff still stuck inside there that I need to process. So I'll use my EAP money.
There you
And
go.
But you would love to know, Dr. April, that myself and Councilman Lawson were there as crutches for him. You know, the way that you guys formed for your sisters,
Right.
brotherhood, we was there for him. Let them know that tip was all right.
Yeah.
Somebody cracked the onion in the room and we got your back. We understand, definitely it wasn't because you were being soft. No,
Okay.
we don't do that. We're men around here.
Real men cry real tears.
not one for listen.
Don't
The
real
real
tears.
story was they definitely cracked jokes, and I got a video where they made a mockery out of me right after it. So,
That's
I probably would
encouraging.
have did the same thing though. So
We were laughing with you, not at you, just so you know.
yeah, I bet.
Thank you,
Listen,
Don.
thank y'all for joining us on another episode of the Black Super Friends. Please stay on the screen because we're going backstage for everybody. Get you a mug. Check out these websites that's on the screen. Give Zay some money for he can go and get that Jamaican breakfast in the morning for his birthday. And
Sawfish.
yeah, we'll be here next week, same time, same whatever, Black Channel and all that shit.
Shout out.